These signs have been seen all over LA lately. Kim Kardashian ruined my life.com. I went on the website so you didn't have to.
Here's a story of how Kim Kardashian stole an idea worth millions from a man and turned him homeless.
This is the man behind the sign, David Libenson, the original creator of Kimoji.
For years, Kim has used her wealth, power, and connections to prevent David from speaking out. But this year, he finally decided enough was enough and he had to tell his side of the story.
What? Who made that?
This man claims that Kim Kardashian ruined his life. She stole his idea for Kim's emoji business, and Kim also interfered with his main income. David is now stuck on the streets begging for someone to hear him out, but Kim and her team have done everything they can to make him disappear. So let's get into it. If you guys have not seen the first episode of the Let's Get Into It podcast, make sure you guys go and check it out using my link below. But let's go ahead and talk about this website because so many people have sent it to me, and this man is claiming that Kim Kardashian ruined his life. Before we visit the site together, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about who this guy is because, I mean, this claim that somebody ruined your life is huge. Here's a screenshot of the website when you go onto it, and it reads, Kim K ruined my life so she can have her face and butt as an emoji. I have nothing to lose now, so I'm laying out the facts. Kim committed fraud to get the Kimoji trademark plus much more. You guys may remember that Kim had her Kimojis a few years ago, and pretty much that's the basis of this argument. So the man's name is David, and he actually confronted Kim with a lawsuit a few years ago, but now it looks like he's taking a new approach. Here's a photo of David. It's a screenshot of his LinkedIn page. It looks like he is a consultant and an average guy living in Oklahoma. So how did he get wrapped up with Kim Kardashian? I mean, he sued her for breach of partnership, unjust enrichment, fraud, so he's got a lot on her. And when he first filed this lawsuit back in 2019, he did get some attention because he was suing her for $300 million, which is a lot of money and obviously very headline grabbing. The case didn't go in David's favor, and honestly, I can kind of see why. So this man, David, worked for a company that he partnered with a few other people on, and it was called App Social, and they had a verbal agreement with the Kardashians that they would have a 60-40 payout partnership. When I saw verbal agreement, I was like, oh no, because I mean, now that I do a lot of like social media work, I don't verbally agree to anything. You need to have everything in writing. So when I saw that, I was like, red flag.
We all know about Kimojis, Kim Kardashian inspired emojis. With this idea, Kim Kardashian has made millions of dollars. But back in 2014, this idea did not exist. Here's the man who came up with the idea of Kimojis and also the man behind Kim Kardashian ruined my life.com, David, a software startup founder. In 2014, David met with Kim Kardashian at her house in LA to discuss a software startup that he had founded and which Kim was interested in. That startup idea is completely unrelated to Kimojis, but at their meeting, David pitched the idea of Kimojis to Kim Kardashian. This was a mock-up that he showed her. More mock-ups. And Kim and Kris Jenner loved that idea, so they got into a group chat with David. In a screenshot posted on Kim Kardashian ruined my life.com, you can see a text message where Kim says, "Amazing, I for sure want to move forward."
Also, court documents say that Kim Kardashian insisted on filing the trademark of the Kimojis to save on costs and verbally promised that they would promote the concept together. I don't think saving on cost is like these people's biggest worry. I mean, if she's filing the trademark, she owns it. So these people letting her like go and verbally agree to things and file the trademark under her name, it kind of sets her up to own everything.
Kim's team was like, have you sent in the trademark yet? And he's like, no, I literally just talked to Kim, but I'm about to do it. And they were like, no, we'll do it for you. Don't worry about it. This will help with the process because she's an A-list celebrity and we want to make sure it's done correctly. Kim's team went and trademarked Kimoji literally 5 minutes later without David on the trademark.
But it doesn't make it any less wrong, and David is claiming that he's the rightful owner of Kimoji and that she's made way too much money off of him. David says that Kim released the Kimoji's app a year later, and she was profiting off of this name, Kimoji, which they created.
David has text and paper trail proof that they stole from him. David was like, "You're not taking all my hard work." He sued her for $100 million. She countersued him for over $300 million, knowing that he could not pay that. Once David got countersued, he basically backed down because he literally could not pay them back. So not only do Kim and Chris get to keep Kimoji as the business, the lawsuit is now thrown away, but they told David he still has to pay them $400,000 for lawyers, their time, and financial compensation, even though they're all allegedly billionaires.
Obviously, David wasn't successful in court, and that's pretty much how his life was ruined, because he is now currently homeless. According to his website, he claims that he's working 2 jobs and currently camping in his car. So I'm not entirely sure what his current situation is, but let's go ahead and take a look at his website and see if we can find out more. So here's the website. Immediately there's some notice, please be patient with the site, its layout, and grammar. It's all built on an iPhone, but it looks pretty good for built on an iPhone. Here's the beginning, which we already saw, and it seems like there's a few different kind of stories here. So let's go ahead and see what he has to say. So David writes serial fraudsters, and you can see there's it looks like Kanye holding Censorgram, which is an application he owned at some point. He writes Kim and Chris in their most blatant ideas theft yet. He said it all started when Kim was using their app called Censorgram, which I guess allowed people to censor their Instagram. So she was able to use this application to have them remove comments that include certain words on her page. Supposedly, she liked the application so much, she wanted to become a partner. And then they started meeting, and that's when David claims everything got weird, because they had an idea and Kim ultimately took it. She also interfered with a patent I had filed for a process that now is used by Instagram to automatically remove comments on social media. So I guess she's also interacted with some of his other business ventures. Kim never explained her part in this interference or why she discussed our IP with Kevin, ex-CEO of Instagram, without permission. Shoot, after she signed an NDA. So he's got a few things on her. Meeting in Calabasas and after. And it looks like he does have some receipts here. So not everything was a verbal agreement, because Jonathan, who tends to work on behalf of Kim, said that they were willing to give up 50% or so. So they met in Calabasas to talk about Censorgram. And they ended the meeting by talking about Kimojis, because it was an idea they had. Emojis weren't that big at this point, and they thought that they could have a 50-50 split and really cash in. He explains that he and his family were super excited about this partnership because they knew they were going to make a ton of money, because Kimoji did make a ton of money, and they were all just super happy. Oh no, this is weird. Apparently, without my knowledge, one of our partners took a picture of some words on a page that Kim used in our Censorgram app. No user handle or private information, just a little clip of a screenshot to brag. So maybe some words that she doesn't want included in her comments, privately between him and a friend. Well, this friend was jealous and actually had a friend in Chicago who knew someone in Kim and Kanye's world. So this person's friend Alice is friends with Jeannie, and he's close friends with Jonathan, who obviously is friends with Kim. So this information just got looped all around. It seems like this person, Jeannie, was trying to disrupt the relationship or the partnership between the Kardashians and David. Kim backed out and threatened to sue us for $5 million if we didn't hand over the Kimoji rights and give her the ability to do her own comment control app. David writes, the Kimoji trademark was filed by Kim's company 5 minutes after her staged phone call. So pretty much she called David and them and asked them if they trademarked Kimoji, claiming that it's all good, go ahead, and she sounded excited. But then 5 minutes later, she completely flipped and she sounded upset, accusing them of spreading her information because that Ryan guy took a screenshot and shared it with his friend, and it all got so messy. David's claiming that this is fraud. She's gotten away with it until now because she's incredibly wealthy. So she ruined his Kimoji business, and it looks like she ruined his Instagram business because she used to hang out with the Instagram CEO, and it sounds like she influenced his decision making, and they decided to adopt this capability themselves, opposed to allowing an app like Instagram to go and moderate comments. It also looks like he's including some emails here talking about them meeting all together. I'm not entirely sure like what he's trying to prove from this, probably just showing that he did in fact speak to these people. He writes, Kim and Chris have used this tactic of taking ideas before, which we've talked about before on this channel. He writes, shortly after we noticed Instagram using our process, we found some very alarming evidence in our old emails. Remember when Kim called us asking who Ryan is and why he's sending her information around? The guy that took a screenshot, super messy. Well, she knew who Ryan was because they have old emails of them going back together, and she referred to him as Ryan because I guess his real name is Niran, but he goes by Ryan. She kept this in her pocket to use against us and stole our comment control app, Instagram. She also got Kimoji out of this too. Oh, and it looks like David actually withdrew the lawsuit. So it's not like he failed in court. They withdrew it. So that's what his lawyer, Robert, told him to do. I went in debt over that lawsuit. Now I'm getting creative and I won't shut up about it, which I've actually invited David to come onto the channel and do an interview. If you guys want him to come on, comment below. One of the main problems here I see for Kimberly is the confidentiality agreement, because she supposedly signed an NDA about this emoji project, and they had a few other emoji projects going on at this time, but she pretty much like screwed them over. Back to the fraud for the Kimoji trademark. So because Kim didn't want to partner, she used that harmless screenshot meant to be private to threaten us and cause internal turmoil. So here's I guess this screenshot. I'm assuming so, or maybe the screenshot. I'm assuming they didn't make that screenshot public, so probably not. We had no idea what was going on. The threatening letter from her lawyer, Martin Singers, which I've heard certain things about, had me shaking. Shoot. The threat made it seem like we really messed up. With all the parties involved, it took a bit to understand what they were even talking about. Come to find out, a different attorney I had look at this case said that we were supposedly violated in the threat from that lawyer. This whole thing was a complete shit show, and Kardashian and the Jenner family made a ton of money off of it for years. I lost everything. She could have said, in light of this thing with Ryan, I'd like to part ways and buy the Kimoji trademark, done and done. But she didn't do that. She manipulated the people who worked there and what Ryan did, which sounds like a mistake, but it wasn't that much of a mistake. It really like was a minor thing that she took and like blew up. We would have walked away and kept pushing our censorship app. Without securing the patent for the process, it was dead, which remember Kim disrupted that process. The entire investment was gone. Legal fees and the patent was wasted. Personal issues and lack of funding stemming from all this just really ruined his life. So that's why it's titled Kim Kardashian Ruined My Life. Hearing Kanye's song Facts, where he said that the Kimoji app shut down the app store and they made millions in a minute, was very triggering for him. On to the censorship app and how Kim interfered with a talk we had with a shark from Shark Tank TV show. She said she knew this person personally and would talk to them. I have the email showing this. So maybe she screwed up their opportunity to get on Shark Tank as well. It sounds like David's going to be updating more when it comes to his case. I'd like to have him on the channel though, so comment below if you guys would like to see that as well. That was a lot. Comment below, are you team David or are you team Kim? I mean, who's really team Kim in this situation? She's got so much money that like, why screw over the little guy? And now this man is like in his car, like working 2 jobs. I have no idea what's going on with his situation, but maybe he's willing to talk. So here's my email and I'll see you guys in a new video soon. Bye guys.